Rob, the Rams, I mean, Matthew Stafford, he got him to the Super Bowl. You and I have both said, this is great. This is nice. And I think you believe this, but I certainly do. He's better than Jared Goff. Problem is you didn't just give up Jared Goff. You gave up 2 first-round picks and a third. So you gave up a lot more. And the only way, it's just simple logic. I get it. Okay, we got a better quarterback. Great. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't get you that Super Bowl win, then was it worth it?
What was it worth it? And that's all we've ever said, Chris. Like people, who get blocked on Twitter, it's like they keep acting as if I said he can't win a game or I got to eat crow. I've never said that, Chris. What have I said from the beginning? He's got to win the Super Bowl.
It. We won, We won.
But it's about the Super Bowl. They've already been to the Super Bowl before with Jared Goff a couple years ago.
He's proven that. I'll give him. I think I don't know where you're at on this. I think you're with me. Look, he silenced some skeptics. Me included. Like I wanted to see. I wasn't like, oh, he can't get it done in the big game. I was just like, I want to see it because I haven't seen it. I think, okay, he might be capable. He's a good guy, great arm, and puts up numbers, but I want to see it. And he's done it. So I'm going to give him credit. But he still hasn't gotten fully over the hump.
Right. Chris, that near pick with about 9:40 to go, 9:50.
The Rams, the Niners were up 17-14 at the time.
Right. You want to talk about like where that would have been like, I said, you're probably right. The game's not over, but what a deflator that would have been. And you saw the pass. It was horrible, almost on cue.
Yeah. There was, Jimmy G almost threw a pick down along the sidelines.
Right.
That pass wasn't nearly as bad as the one Stafford threw.
Stafford threw it right to the defender.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know. What's that guy's name?
Gronkowski Tart.
Well, nobody will forget his name for years to come if you're a 49ers fan.
Rob, and first of all, I'll credit Gronkowski.
Yes.
Because he owned it. He tweeted it. He met with the media. Let that be a lesson, Rob. You know how we are. We're in the media. Let that be a lesson to players.
You can't hide.
He manned up. Right. And he could have, because he's a role player. He's not a big name. He could have been like, look, I don't want to talk right now. And they probably would have let him go. But he faced the fire. He met with the media, and I'll give him credit. He owned it, and he said he doesn't want this to define him, and it won't. Rob, I'm just keeping it real. And I like, I don't know the kid, but from the way he handled himself, I like it. But it's going to be hard for this not to define him, his football career. He can never let it define him. He has got to be strong enough not to let that define him. And I think he will be strong enough. But for others, it's going to be hard to get that out of people's psyche.
I'll give you another one. And fair or not, Chris, Bill Buckner with the Red Sox was a very good player.
Very good player.
Had a very good career.
Yep.
People don't even – Bill Buckner first was a left fielder for the Dodgers.
Yep.
And then he had a problem with his leg, Chris, and he moved to first base, right? Bill Buckner, go look at his stats, was a very good major league player.
He was an all-star. He made an all-star one time, won a batting title.
Right.
And you're right. Bill Buckner, Rob, this is when the play you're about to talk about was 1986, right?
Yeah.
And Bill Buckner, correct me if I'm wrong, because you covered baseball. You weren't at that time, but
I was at that game. No, I covered that game.
In 86?
Yeah, that was my first World Series.
How old are you? Okay, my bad.
I was 22. No. I was writing for the Daily News.
I was a freshman in college. I was watching it in the football dorm.
I was at that game. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, Rob, correct me if I'm wrong. Bill, and he wasn't a superstar. He wasn't a Hall of Famer. No. Am I wrong to say he was a household name?
Yes, people knew who he was.
Yeah, you didn't have to be like this
because he also played for the Cubs
to know who he was.
Bill Buckner had a name.
Yes.
And Chris, that play defined his career.
Yeah.
He had a ball go through his legs in the World Series. Like you can't, it hit off his glove, went through his legs, The Mets won the game and forced a Game 7. It didn't end the World Series. They could have still won Game 7.
It cost them that game, though.
But it cost them Game 6. And he had to move out of Boston. Chris, it defined him. So good luck in trying to get rid of that. And I don't know, Chris, you just said he's a role player. I'm going to tell you right now, if I had to bet a couple shekels, he won't be on the team next year.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
We saw that with the Packers on that onside kick with that tight end. I forgot his name. Rob G said it in the meeting, but you remember that?
Bostic. Yeah.
Against Seattle. You remember?
Yep.
Jordy Nelson was supposed to catch. The play was designed. Jordy Nelson is, if you ever watch that play, is right behind the guy. He tips the ball instead of getting out of the way. Seattle recovers, and they lose that trip to the Super Bowl. He was cut in the offseason.
I'll give you another example, Rob. Jackie Smith. And our younger listeners probably won't know who we're talking about. In the 60s and 70s, he was a tight end. So good, he made 5 Pro Bowls, Rob, and made the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And you remember this. He didn't come back, but it was his last season. The 16th year of his career. All right, he had played the year before. He played his career almost entirely with the Cardinals in St. Louis, right? And obviously, as he went on to 14, 15 year, he wasn't doing much. 5 receptions in 1977. 78, he signs with the Cowboys. They get to the Super Bowl. They're playing Pittsburgh. I was a Steelers fan, so I was glad. But he dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone of the
Wide
Super Bowl.
open. Am I right?
Wide
open.
And this guy's a Hall of Famer, and that's the only thing. And granted, I was a little kid then, but still, I don't know a thing about Jackie Smith other than he dropped that pass.
Yep, that's how things are. So we want to know, right, from you on this game last night, because there was 2 sides to it, Chris, on this game.
Do you think the Rams won or the Niners gave it away?
I think the Niners gave it away, and this has been both of us. When we talk about Kyle Shanahan being the offensive genius, Chris, there's a number out there that you can't comprehend. In the fourth quarter and overtime in his last 3 playoff losses, one as the OC for the Falcons, right, in the Super Bowl.
Against New England.
Brady led
and
then
back,
the one in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And then last night, Kyle Shanahan, who is an offensive guru, has been outscored his offense 53-0. 53-0. Debo Samuel, Chris, touched the ball 1 time in the fourth quarter. How?
I can argue he should have touched it on every play.
How? How is that possible? What plays are you drawing up where the most dynamic offensive player on your team is not touching the football?
Right. I don't know what happens to him. Because, Rob, every ex-player we have come on here, what do they say about Kyle Shanahan? He's an offensive genius.
Genius.
Offensive genius. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know. And look, the blame pie is divided up. We talked about Gronkowski. All right, he gets some of it.
Yep.
Jimmy G gets a little for not being able to muster any offense late.
Yep.
You know, which is what he's a mediocre
drive,
quarterback with
one drive in the fourth quarter
moxie.
With some points.
Right, and he couldn't do that, so he gets some blame pie. The offensive line, which could only muster 50 yards rushing after they had dominated the Rams in the regular season rushing, they deserve some blame pie. The defense, which gave up 13 points in the last 17 minutes, blame pie. But Kyle Shanahan gets a big chunk too.
Yep,
no doubt about it. So. Yeah, look, I'm not poo-pooing. I'm not mad at the Rams. They won.
No,
this happens,
game.
right?
No.
You get breaks, and you so give them credit. But there's no doubt the Niners blew it in a lot of ways.